Well, he's gone from impossible to inevitable, at least according to the media, and now some pundits are getting out there, going out on a limb, and speculating about Donald Trump's running mate. Yes, the Veep stakes is beginning. Now, this is a pretty telltale sign, I would say, that these commentators think it's a pretty good chance that Donald Trump is going to be the Republican nominee. Otherwise, why waste the energy and the ink and the airtime talking about who he might pick? And it's ridiculously early, and it's kind of a silly season thing to do, and particularly for someone like Donald Trump. You know, when a senator or a governor is the nominee of a party, you know, you have a certain calculation. You want somebody who brings you a key state or who balances you ideologically or stuff like that. Well, Trump, there's never been anybody who's run like Donald Trump in a presidential campaign, and so it's particularly hard to handicap. What some of these geniuses are missing is that Trump's actually addressed this a couple times. He said that he would pick somebody from in politics since he is a political outsider. And that makes sense if voters are maybe attracted to Trump, but feel that they want somebody with some government experience. It might have somebody who knew, it might help to have somebody who knew where the bathrooms were in Congress, for example. So Politico and the Washington Post are now compiling lists, and believe me, you are going to be so sick of this subject in a couple of months, assuming that Trump doesn't blow up or get derailed or something like that, that you're just going to plug your ears every time somebody starts talking about it. So names that have been throwing out there, a lot of them don't make sense to me. Nikki Haley, okay, except that she went on national television after the State of the Union and criticized Trump, and then she endorsed Marco Rubio in South Carolina. Other people like Rick Scott, the governor of Florida, well, that might make sense, except he mostly has been a businessman for his whole career, and mostly outside of the state of Florida, nobody knows who he is. I think what Trump doesn't want is a controversy over whether the person he picks is qualified to be president. In fact, he said that's the number one criteria. And so if you have somebody who hasn't been vetted, isn't a national figure, then that would consume all the media attention, at least for a few weeks, taking it away from Donald Trump. Donald Trump might not like that. And both Politico and the Washington Post threw out there, maybe semi-serious, maybe not, Sarah Palin. I guess you could say she has experience running for vice president. Anybody who watched Trump during her rather lengthy, some would say rambling endorsement speech can be pretty well assured that he's not going to pick Sarah Palin. And then there's other names like Jack Welch or Carl Icahn. First of all, they're businessmen. And second of all, they're 80 years old, so that's not going to happen. You know, I have my own list. I think that John Kasich, who's not attacking Trump and who comes from the key swing state of Ohio and who has been a member of Congress, might offer some balancing, but, you know, it's hard to say. It's also ridiculously early to say. But it is an interesting mental exercise. Who would Trump pick? Because Trump, the whole campaign is about Trump. He doesn't need a VP to be an attack dog. He's the attack dog. So as it gets more serious, if indeed he has the nomination within his grasp, we'll be talking about this a few more thousand times.